Welcome back to Digitized Desperadoes. We've hit 10 episodes, everybody.
Oh yeah!
Yee.
So, this week we watched Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, and Madoka Magica. Did I get it right?
Yeah, that's what we watched.
Sure.
Maduku Mujuku.
Maguku.
Count Dooku.
Madoka Magica.
I've been having trouble pronouncing this show, okay?
It's fine. You don't have to. You watched the dub anyway.
I did watch the dub, and I watched the dub of Gamera.
Okay, we're on to Gamera then.
I guess we'll
immediately.
start with Gamera.
Okay.
How was the dub? I'm seriously curious.
So, to my surprise, it's weird. It's half and half. So, half the characters are very seriously trying to just sound like what that character would sound like. And a lot of other characters...
So they were given some direction.
Yeah, they were given some... And then a lot of other characters just, like, fucking didn't try, or they, like, put on a stupid voice. The sidekick guy to the journalist girl, right?
Yeah.
That person was talking with, like, a really weird, flamboyant accent. Like, the whole time. I don't know why.
That's really funny.
Yeah. But he's, like, the only character that was like that. And some of them were just not good, like... Okay, this is what I think. I did come to this conclusion during this. I think live-action dubs are usually really cheesy because people treat it like it's animation still. They'll put on a voice rather than talk in, like, a voice that they would regularly act with in camera. And therefore, I think that creates a lot of, like, weird moments.
Yeah.
Where people are, like, doing, like, a cartoon character voice atop a real live person, you know, in general.
Also, it's hard because it's not like anime where you can like mess around with the mouth flaps or edit it a little to make it work.
I think that's the
Can't do
main
that
reason
with live
why.
action.
I think that's the main reason why live action dubs are a lot harder is because you have a lot less footage to go off of.
Honestly, I didn't find the lip syncing or anything like that to be terrible. I think it's just the delivery on a lot of lines. And some other things were weird. Like, I know a lot of times in dubs, when somebody's not talking, for whatever reason, the dubbers, I guess, just dub voice actors, just want to add in, like, yeah, like, weird sounds like that all the time. Like, that's it's very common in live-action dubs I've seen. And then also, when people are running, it is really awkward. Like, there's a scene where everybody's running from Gamera, and just you hear in the background like people like pretending to be tired from running. It's like that's not what that would sound like. Don't you just have the original audio of the film? Why not just put that over it? It baffles me what people do sometimes. Like, I don't know if that was like just done on the spot or like if that was written in or like
I feel like part of it is them trying to recreate the experience of the original audio track.
It probably is, but then, like, why not just use the original audio track if they're not
Sometimes
speaking any
just
words?
Use the original audio track for when people aren't talking.
Yeah.
It's also kind of strange to me that this was probably around 97 or a little bit later.
Yeah, this was 97 was when the dub was done.
That's a little strange to me that it would be so low quality, even in 97.
It wasn't generally terrible, but there were definitely moments where it was terrible. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's not too shocking because again, live action dubs are not easy to do.
I'm gonna get real opinionated real quick. I think the entire theme of this movie is behind its time.
What?
I think this movie looks a lot worse and is a lot worse than I would expect from 95.
Yes, I think so.
It feels like a 60s movie, and it's not.
Except for, like, random effects, like fireballs, stuff like that. That's, like, all 90s CGI that was just readily available at that point.
They had
like the flying scenes.
They had CG missiles that looked terrible, but they looked very 90s.
Yeah.
They were awful.
But then, like, you got, like, the flying monsters where I am pretty sure I saw, like, the wires. Like, come on.
Oh, no, you'll get that with flying monsters. That happens a lot.
But
That's
it's
how
the
they're puppeted.
90s, come on.
Yeah, I felt like for the 90s, they were either trying to recreate, like, okay.
The feel?
This is...
I can actually say something about that because...
Mitch, I need to ask you. I looked up a bunch of stuff after. Apparently, the original Gamera movies are terrible. Is that true?
I'm pretty sure that's the case. There was a lot of them that were like featured in like Mystery Science Theater 3000 back in the day. And like,
That's unfortunate.
basically, okay, here's the okay. This movie came out in 1995. The movie before this was in 1980, 15 years earlier.
Oh
And
god.
Okay.
before that, the last movie was before the 80 film, which I'm pretty sure was just like a compilation film of previous movies. Before that, the last movie was in 71.
These are
9 years
Gamera
earlier
films
than that.
They
specifically?
didn't make an actual new movie until like 24 years after.
Yeah.
This is
Wow.
this
Gamera
is
was
specifically
basically
Gamera,
like a dead franchise
just-
for a
okay,
stretch,
yeah.
effectively. And so this, I feel, was basically just like a, hey, this character hasn't been around in a long while. Just do something simple story to reintroduce him.
I saw it referred to as the reboot trilogy because it's the first of a trilogy.
Yeah. I hear
That's
the other
interesting.
movies in the trilogy are supposed to be like the second one is supposed to be really good. And I know like in this Gamera kind of looks just sort of cartoony and full, like there's not a lot to him.
I really
Just sort of
like.
looks like an old suit, but in the later ones he's supposed to get like more edgy and cool looking, I guess.
How are you
like,
supposed to
more
make a
serious.
turtle look edgy?
Give
Oh,
him
you
spikes
can.
and stuff.
Oh, you
I
can.
guess. Just make him look like Bowser.
Yeah. Well,
Just
no.
give him some shades.
Bone Bowser.
Dry Bowser.
Dry Bowser. That's it.
Skeleton Gamera.
I love like the way that he just flies up like a damn space shuttle.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
that was
yeah.
my favorite part. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, no,
My
Gamera's
problem-
done that since always. He's always had like weird, crazy powers like that where he just flies.
My problem
because he
is
can.
they didn't do enough of that in this movie. I
There
wanted
is
some
way
stupid
too much
crap.
of the human character.
I think that's my problem with this movie. There's just it's like focuses too much on just the scientists going like, yeah, we can't do anything about this. There's
There's this one guy
birds.
who's clearly supposed to be like the villain of Jurassic World, saying like, "Oh no, the birds are the better things that we
We
need to
gotta
protect
we gotta protect the bird because ecology.
because
the
money
birds are
and
smaller than the
government."
Gamera monster, so therefore they're better.
And also, this is my least favorite Guardian of the Galaxy.
Boo.
Dumb, bad
Good
joke.
joke. It's also Gamera, so it's like it's a pun.
Gamora. Is
It's the
that
same
your?
character.
All right, I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
I think the story of this really, really, really goes off the rails.
No, yeah. You
Yeah.
see, it's Hope that powered this Gamera.
No, he's a flipping Atlantis bioweapon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what?
I
That's
wanted
his
more
origin
of that.
story in this series. I don't remember I don't know what it is in like the earlier films, but in
Oh.
this he was made by Atlantis.
Oh, and also this is important to mention. When I saw the runes on his back, I got very concerned because they're the same runes used in Lord of the Rings.
What do they do in that? I haven't seen it.
J.R.R. Tolkien uses it as the Elven language. He actually made an entire language.
Oh yeah, that yeah.
And they use the same characters because they're both formed from Scandinavia. And I think in the movie they say it's from like an island country, and it's not. It's from Scandinavia.
Yeah, there's a giant obelisk on the back.
How do you feel about Gyaos?
I think they're cool.
I was disappointed.
I think they could have done more, but I liked how the laser breath was a thing.
The laser's good.
I think they needed more though. I think it would have been really cool if there was just like a shit ton of them, but there's only like 3.
Oh wait,
No,
did
there
you
was, like,
see that? Did
5
you
in
watch
the
the?
end, right?
Wait, no. Did you see that Gamera like proof of concept trailer from like a few years ago that I sent from New York
What?
Comic Con?
I didn't watch it.
I didn't see it.
What if you want a lot of Gyaos?
Oh, is there like? Were they gonna do like a reboot or something?
What?
A reboot?
It's weird. It's like supposed to be, hey, this is a reboot, new series. We're bringing Gamera back, but it's like nothing's really happened,
Oh,
and it's like I'm not sure if it's even gonna get made.
that sucks.
But it's a good. I like the proof of concept trailer. It looks really nice. And if you want a lot of Gyaos, it's got a lot of Gyaos.
Yeah.
But,
Sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, but no, Gamera's got neat powers.
I really like the
fire,
concept
he
of
can
Gamera
fly.
in general, but I really think this movie struggled like just being ridiculous. I don't know why. It felt like it was just too much talking. I've kind of said that before, but like, yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of just a thing with a lot of kaiju movies, I imagine. There's
Yeah.
just not enough of the monster.
Now, that's not to say that this movie doesn't have its scenes. Can we talk about the taxi driver that just fucking loses
Oh
it?
my god, the taxi driver!
Yeah.
Oh no!
He's like, I'm not supposed to take you to Mount Fuji. The government's like, section that off. And she's like, no, I have to go. And then he's like, screw it. And then drives through the, like, guarded, like, whole section off area in front of Mount Fuji. Like, he's just gone crazy for no reason.
He literally goes insane because he's literally bringing this high school girl to what amounts to a war zone.
Yeah, and like, there wasn't really too much debate, though. He was just kind of like,
says like, no, you gotta take me there, and he's like, okay.
And he's like, okay, and then he drives through it, and at least in the dub, the guy's just like, I've always wanted to do that.
He says that too in the sub.
Yeah. So there's that. That's a great scene.
That was
I
good.
want more of that.
Okay. I'm gonna... Mitch, what do you honestly think about this movie?
It's definitely not the best kaiju film I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's really simplistic. It's not a lot going on.
It's the worst I've seen.
But I know there's worse out there, but definitely not the best.
I very do not like this movie.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I was like watching it. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of.
This is kind of eh.
And it's really strange. Okay, wait, Max.
No, I was just agreeing with him.
Oh, okay. It's really strange to me that I checked all the review sites, and there are actually a surprising amount of reviews for this movie. A lot of people think this is one of the best kaiju movies ever made.
Really, I usually get that opinion
That's
about Gamera too.
Weird.
Pretty much everyone says that this matches quality with it's
With Godzilla.
It's like right under original Godzilla.
No,
It's not.
I like
It's
more of the
very not.
Gargantuas more than this.
Because, okay, the thing about this that really disappoints me is that the original Godzilla, I hate it as a story. I think it's very boring. It's very, very directed in such a way that not much happens. But the visuals for the 60s, oh my god, they're so good. They're so beautifully crafted.
No, original Godzilla 54.
The
Yeah.
miniatures are just amazing. But
Yeah.
with this looks worse than the original Godzilla. And it's like, 40
30
years
years
after.
apart.
I think that happened with a lot of movies in the
40 years
90s.
apart.
I think a lot of
95,
movies
that's
in the
40 years.
in the mid 90s, I felt like way too many movies. Like this even happened with like freaking James Bond. They were just like, nah, we don't need cool visuals. We got kind of okay low budget CGI. And it happens to so many movies. I don't know why. It's really disappointing with the 90s. Like, if you look at any series that's existed since, like, before the 90s, go into the 90s, it happens too much, I think.
Yeah, I generally agree with that.
Yeah.
Also, I
Also,
think that was kind of fixed by The Matrix, because The Matrix really tried to do
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah, that was like
No,
98,
that wasn't
I
that
think.
99, so that's
Yeah.
literally the end of the
Yeah.
90s. Everyone's like, oh wait, we gotta step it up.
Yeah. That's probably why it also did so well, but enough about that. The other thing you mentioned, like original Godzilla, I also want to bring up Godzilla, like, 1 has this whole anti-nuclear, message and stuff. I felt like in Gamera, it kind of was just kind of like, it was just kind of there.
There isn't really a story in Gamera. It's kind of like, it's like a bad superhero movie.
Yeah.
Good guy, bad guy, you don't care why it's happening, you just want to enjoy it, and I can't because it's boring.
It was boring, and then at the very end, they were just like, no, we have to believe. If we believe, then Gamera works. And I'm like, what if that was, like, the whole movie? Like, that would have been really funny and, like, cheesy, and I would have loved that. But,
Because, basically that's kind of how Gamera is he's basically just a kaiju version of a superhero.
Well,
He's
yeah,
just, like,
he's
a through good guy through, like, almost all of the movies.
Yeah.
Whereas Godzilla can, like, be whatever you want him to be, bad guy, good guy, whatever. Gamera's pretty much always hero. Like in the old movies, like he has a whole gimmick where he's just like friends with children.
I want to see that.
Son
That sounds
of
awesome.
Godzilla.
I am not kidding.
I want to
Son of
see.
Godzilla.
I want to see like a bunch of children running in a field with Gamera.
Yes, yes, I would love that.
Artist rendition, please.
No, I'm pretty sure that I can probably find some pictures.
So I brought some extra material to this thing because I found out that Roger Ebert made a review of this movie.
Shit, that
Ooh.
name sounds really familiar.
He's like the movie critic,
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
but he gave it. He rates things out of 4 stars. If he gives
All right.
something, okay, he gave this movie 3 stars out of 4.
Wow.
At first you hear like, oh my god, that's a really high score from flipping Roger Ebert, who hates Godzilla movies, he's rest in peace. But flipping, then you read the review. I'm gonna do some choice lines from this 3-star review.
Okay.
Gamera is not a good movie, but it is a good movie-going experience.
What does that mean?
The movies are so seldom great that we should not go unless we can appreciate great trash.
So this is a movie so bad that he just loved it. It's like room levels for him.
It's so ridiculous that he absolutely loved watching it in theater.
You see, I wish it was like that though. I didn't feel
Okay,
like
but that was actually in the 90s, so
Yeah. I felt like it.
Your guys' standard is really high because
No, I felt like
Shin
if it was gonna
Godzilla.
be bad, I want it to be really bad. Like I enjoyed War of the Gargantuas. That was stupid, and I loved it.
that movie was hilarious because how much they like reused footage and like it
Yeah.
was really cheap.
It was really and
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
back in
love
the
that
day, stock
one.
footage a lot. Lots
It's
of
good.
stock footage.
But this movie was competent and boring, and
Yeah.
that's the worst thing.
I think that was the main failure of it.
Well, again, I think as I said, it's like this is a character who hasn't had a film in like nearing basically 2 decades.
I'm sorry, Gamera, but I'm kind of glad you don't have any movies, any new movies.
He deserves better than this,
Yeah, he deserves.
Well,
better.
I mean,
or worse. I mean, like I just
hear
want
the
one or
other
the
movies
other.
in this trilogy are alright, and there's like another in the 2000s that's like another reboot that's supposed to be good, but
I'm
I don't
sorry,
think
but
I don't think I'll drop them on the podcast, at least not anytime soon.
please don't.
Yeah. Do that. I'll just watch them on my own time.
Tell us if they're good.
Yeah.
Because
So
I
now-
know
If
good.
we're gonna do kaiju stuff in the future, it'll just be Godzilla, the name you can trust.
Godzilla is
Can
the
you
name
know?
you can trust.
Godzilla,
It sounds like
a
that's
name
like an
you can
advertisement from like the 50s for like local like auto shop or something.
The brand you can trust.
Yeah.
Godzilla, the lizard you can
Godzilla.
trust.
The lizard you can trust.
And then it's just Godzilla giving a thumbs up.
Yeah, imagine that. That's great.
I think there's like multiple gifs of that actually. I think of Godzilla
Yeah.
just being a classy dude.
Alright,
There's the one
ratings?
with Godzilla wearing like the sunglasses from like a basketball.
Oh
thing.
yeah, no, the Godzilla versus Barkley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a whole Nike commercial, and then it also got a comic.
It got a comic?
Yes, there's a whole one-shot comic.
Oh, I want to
That's-
read that.
That's kind of depressing.
Godzilla versus
No,
Barkley.
it's so dumb. I love it. Anyways,
But yeah, ratings for Gamera, Guardian of the Universe.
Connor.
I'm kind of on the fence, but it's low, like 3 out of 10.
I would say 5, but higher
6.
than I'd say it's 5 out of 10, but higher than what I gave only yesterday in the range of 5s.
Wow.
Just
guys
drop
really
some
hate
only.
Only Yesterday.
I'm just dropping some only yesterday hate in here.
You always do.
It wasn't good, man.
Look,
It wasn't as bad
only
as this.
yesterday was 2 hours long and more boring. This was 1 hour 30 minutes long and less boring.
Oh, I was very, very, very bored during this.
Yeah, but like there's some doofy shit at the end.
He flies like a flying saucer.
Anyways, so
What's your rating?
yeah, he said 6.
What I said, 6.
Oh, okay.
Now we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode.
Now we're getting to the good part of this episode.
I'm gonna just say this right here. Stop this video if you haven't seen the show yet.
Oh yeah, flippin' go watch Madoka if you haven't
Like,
If you
already.
didn't know, if you've watched
You'll
our
just
show
be
already,
lost.
you know damn well we don't care. We just spoil out the
But-
gate, but you know,
Like,
warning nonetheless.
if you're on the fence, you are just gonna be lost. I'm gonna be honest. If you don't,
I mean, Madoka's
And
such
you'll
a
be
phenomenon.
spoiled.
I feel like everyone who's interested has watched it already.
Or
Yeah.
just people in general who have watched anime have probably seen this because it was big.
I'd
like,
say
back
watch
at the
it.
start of this decade.
it's a normal magical girl show. You know, it's just like Sailor
Totally.
Moon. Go watch it, and then
I will legitimately say this isn't even a spoiler. If I would recommend someone any anime that I would consider important to the genre, it'd be Madoka.
wow.
Like, if I had to make a top 5 list, Madoka would be in there. I don't know if it would be number 1, but it would be on there.
Wow.
in terms of like importance, you mean?
Yeah, I would
Does-
do like.
Does this game?
Like-
Did this have like a big impact on other shows?
Yes, it started a huge phenomenon. It's insanely popular, like
Okay.
even today.
All right.
And I don't really know if it had a huge impact on other shows. I know, it impacted some because obviously the writer went on to do a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
He did Psychopaths, I believe. He did Gargantia, of course.
Gargantia, which we are watching in club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up Gargantia later. Don't worry.
I actually will too.
Okay.
But I can even just watching this, I can tell like this stuff was probably like groundbreaking back in its day.
Yeah, this was what 2010,
2011,
2011.
which isn't that long ago, but still
Yeah.
for the
Feels
genre.
like it.
But I just want to I want to give some background. Basically, what happened in the production of this was that the director, no, not the director, one of the publishers told the writer, Gen Urobuchi, who's the most famous name behind it, he basically told him, do whatever you want as long as it's a magical girl show that is like the opposite of a magical girl show. And
Here's
a lot
this.
of
Do what
times
you will.
one of the most interesting parts of the development behind it is that a lot of times the people like animating and stuff would walk up to Urobuchi and say, "Hey, can you not kill off these characters? It's really making me sad."
Oh.
Oh wow!
I believe specifically, they like petitioned him with Mommy's death and were like,
Really?
"Please don't kill her off."
That's 3 episodes in, dude.
Yeah.
That happens immediately.
I'm gonna be
I've seen
honest.
like memes and stuff years ago of like her being, oh yeah, she gets her head taken off, but I didn't know it happened that early.
Yeah, that's the reason why one of the main reasons why I really wanted you to watch this show on principle that you haven't seen it, because episode 3 is like, if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, you're like, holy crap, because they
I
just
mean, I
do
feel it's pretty immediate from like the first scene of episode 1, where it's like the dream and it's like the fucking apocalypse is happening.
I'm gonna be honest, like, I just through
It
the
doesn't
whole,
really trick
like
you.
up to the part where Mommy dies, I had a feeling just something was off, the whole time, and I wasn't really like shocked by that, I guess, as much as I guess other people have been.
Yeah, when I watched it the first time, like 6 years ago, around the time it came out, actually, I was really emotionally affected by Mommy's death. But now watching it, I feel like that's one of the weaker twists.
Yeah, well, like they were like
Yeah.
up to that point, they were like, "Oh man, I wish I could be a magical girl just like you. You're such a good role model and stuff like that." I'm like, I wasn't expecting them to kill her because of that. I thought she was secretly hiding something, that she was like a terrible person or something like that.
Yeah, they definitely. I mean, obviously, this was a rewatch, so I already know that Homura is good. But watching it, I'm like, what's up with Mommy? She almost is framed like a villain.
Yeah.
If you like really read between the lines, she seems bad.
Yeah. I thought that was
I
gonna be like
did
the big
notice,
twist.
Like, not for some. Regarding Mommy's death, like I only noticed like a couple episodes later of like, oh, that whole line about, oh, we're gonna have a big party and cake and stuff was a huge death flag, and it only clicked later.
I mean, the most famous death flag is "I'm not afraid of anything anymore," which
That's
is really
that's a
really
good one.
depressing.
Uh,
Also, more on the development. The Orobuchi said that he compares Mommy's death to flipping Caesar from JoJo.
Caesar Chan!
It's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
Not wrong.
he also compared Cube. Okay, this is great. This is. I'm sorry, but I have to say this because now that I know it, it's too funny, if kind of depressing. He compares Cube to Al Qaeda during 9/11.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, Cube
Yeah.
in I gotta make a note because dub guy over here. Cube is voiced by the same person that does Morgana from Persona 5.
Yes, that's true.
Is very weird. Makes me really not want to trust Morgana.
Well,
You're gonna hear Persona 5 and you're gonna be like, no.
I mean, that kind of voice is kind of the point because
Yeah.
Cube is supposed to be all cute. And
Little animal is
Yeah.
actually the devil.
if you watch the first opening, okay, I want to talk about the opening and ending because that's one thing I
They
really
changed the
but in
ending
the
like
first
3 times.
couple of episodes, the opening is really happy and nice, and it's like a typical magical girl thing. I almost said
Yeah.
monster girl, but on episode 4, it's the same, but Madoka is only imagining the nice things, and she is constantly crying.
Oh, I didn't
Ooh, I
notice
didn't
this
notice
because
that.
Netflix did
Then again, I was
automatic
skipping
skip.
the intro a lot. Damn it, I shouldn't have done that then.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
specifically changed the opening to that she's crying. and
I
it's-
had Netflix, so it auto skipped it.
Same.
I did
Yeah.
Crunchyroll. Because Netflix has bad subs. Just letting you
Yeah,
know.
the
They were
dub,
fine enough
so.
for me.
They're worse than everything else.
Well, alright. Mm.
Just warning you.
Mm.
Because people were really mad over flipping, I think it was Violet Evergarden.
I can't relate.
Well, I wouldn't know. They worked for me.
Yeah, Max, shut up.
Dub boys. Can't have bad subs in your dub. I mean, you can have
You
a
can
really
have
bad
bad
dub.
dubs, though.
You can have a really bad dub.
Max is the guy standing outside of the convention with the sign saying "Dubs are good. You're all just weebs."
You guys are just mean. So yeah. More on the plot because there is quite a lot
There's a
to
lot.
take in this show.
Don't throw souls.
Yeah, that was a quote.
Don't.
Oh my god, yeah, I was not expecting that. It was just like the first, like after however many episodes of just inaction, Madoka just doing nothing. She finally is like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna act," and then she almost kills Sayaka.
She does. She kills her.
She kills her, but like they just luckily managed to get her back. But like it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna list off. Okay, I'm gonna list off all of the twists. I'm going to list off all of the twists
Okay.
of this anime.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
First, magical girls exist. Second, mommy dies. Third, don't throw souls. Fourth, time magic. Five,
Honestly, I think that it was kind of obvious, or I guess it wasn't that big of a twist if you looked at the beginning, because I kind of assumed some time travel shit was going to go down. But
Well, yeah, at one point, like a little earlier before that's revealed, QB just straight up says to Homura, "Oh, you're not from this timeline."
yeah,
Oh yeah, I think I wrote that twist meaning to that point, not to
yeah,
her
Yeah.
episode. And then I think 5 or 6, whatever. Maguka become witches.
yeah.
And the next one, Kyubey is reversing entropy.
Yeah, it's how it be.
What?
That's how it be.
It's just it's the most ridiculous evil villain plot I have ever
I
heard.
am going to undo the #1 rule of the whole universe.
With harvesting human souls.
Yeah,
That is like as evil as you can get, pretty much. And of course,
And
he thinks
then-
he's the good guy.
yeah.
No, he just doesn't see things as good or bad.
Well, yeah, because I think he mentioned that their race of people do not have emotions; they just see facts. And so,
No, it's like he says, "Oh, emotions are like a mental illness."
Yeah, that's what it was.
In my species.
So,
which,
just
is a little reminiscent of a character from Gargantia.
yeah,
Oh yeah, our boy Leto. Speaking of Gargantia, I want to make a point of does Orobochi just like having sick children in his anime?
I mean,
Is that just a thing?
no one is sick in Madoka though.
well,
No,
there's the
there's,
kid in the
just
hospital where
hospitalized.
his hands don't
He
work.
he
He's not
just
really
has
sick.
like a physical.
Still
He had, like, an accident.
hospitalized.
Hospitalized children.
That's
or
just kind of
bedridden.
an anime trope.
I guess it is, yeah.
It's really not an
shows of
Orobochi
his we
thing.
watched so far. There is a hospitalized child, and I'm just like, I just saw that. I'm like, is this a theme?
Yeah.
Is this like doing that?
Do we have more twists? Because
That-
I know
that's
there is
pretty
more.
much it, I think.
Well, there's
Madoka
also,
becomes God.
Madoka becomes a god, a minor god of only getting rid of witches,
Somebody had to do it. And
but
then,
it also doesn't
Yeah,
really do anything.
because there's I forget what they're called, but there's a
Magical
new
girls
thing.
don't have to turn into witches anymore now.
Yeah,
There's
the
Well-
only
magical
thing that
girls
happens
fighting evil,
is that magical girls don't like horrifically die.
Yeah.
basically. They
Which is
still
nice.
exist and still have to fight. They're still evil. It's just the magical girls don't have to suffer because of it.
Also, notably, Joan of Arc is in this again.
And yeah, Joan of
Why
Arc
did
and
that name
Cleopatra
keep
are
coming up?
canonically magical girls.
Why has it got to be Joan of Arc?
Why is it always Joan of Arc?
It's always Joan of Arc.
I feel like I've seen her in a lot of anime, and I've also seen Jack the Ripper in a lot of anime.
Is
Really?
that JoJo?
I can't
Yeah,
think
it
of
was in
JoJo.
JoJo, and he was also in like Soul Eater. I don't know. He's in some other
I
stuff.
wouldn't know. I haven't watched Soul Eater.
Yeah.
But
So there's that. The very end of the show, I don't know why, you can compare the end of the show to both 2001: A Space Odyssey and BioShock Infinite at the same time.
Oh yeah, 2001 is a really good comparison. I never
actually,
even
the comparison
thought
I
of that.
thought of was the end is Die Buster.
Really? Die
Yeah,
Buster?
because okay, wait, let me go to my note where I talk about how the ending is Die Buster.
Okay.
But yeah, no, yeah, 2001: A Space
two
Odyssey.
girls on another plane of existence saying their thanks and
Oh
goodbyes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Madoka
yeah.
even gives Homura something to remember her with, like Nono gives Lau the origami bird.
That's right. I forgot about that because I don't really like Die Buster.
But yeah, no, this is just Die Buster.
Also,
At the end of it.
to do another weird comparison, it's very Persona 3. Very Persona 3.
It's also
Also,
very reminiscent of BioShock Infinite with the whole time travel and like it kind of not to the same degree as BioShock, self-fulfilling prophecies because of your time travel shenanigans. I don't want to spoil BioShock Infinite also though, so
I already know the ending, but yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
So I know I can relate. I know what you're talking about.
Have you played? Do you know the ending of Burial at Sea, which is the DLC?
No, I don't.
They do this really cool thing where they like tie the two stories together, and it's a really cool twist. I like that more than the actual ending of BioShock Infinite, honestly.
That's cool.
but yeah,
Nobody
I
seems
do
to
like
talk
how
about
the
it.
ending of just it's like, why is Madoka so important? Why won't QB shut the fuck up about
Oh, it's
Madoka
'cause she
being
keeps
so powerful,
time traveling.
potentially? And then it's like, no, Homura did this because of time travel. and
Yeah.
he has multiple timelines worth of destiny.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
gonna be real. Even if I hated every other part of this anime, which I don't, I would make everyone I know watch it just because of Homura's plot, because she's like one of the most well written characters.
I think
ever.
that's basically
Yeah,
my stance
my
on this
opinion
show.
is. Oh wait, what? Never mind. You say first.
I was actually kind of bored with the show until about episode 8. I was like, this show's all right, until episode 8. Like, I wasn't like very bored with it. I really like the visuals, stuff like that. The visuals are great in the show, actually, like fantastic.
Even the faces.
I like
Faces.
the witches, like where they. I didn't pay
The
attention to
witches
the
are
faces.
so good.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was referring to.
Just
But
nightmare realms.
just like around like episode 6, 7, mostly 7, 8, I was just like, oh shit, this is getting good. Why does anime always do this to me?
Yeah,
Like-
what I was about to say is like my opinion is like the first like second and third like chunks, like first and second thirds are have a lot of weak points. There's like I was like, oh yeah, this is alright, I guess. There's some weak stuff in here, but that last like third or so of the show picks up so much.
But yeah, my
Quality,
problem
okay,
is
it just
there was
gets way
just like
better.
long periods of time where it would be a lot of dialogue, no action, and then just more dialogue right after it, and it's like I need a break a little bit.
Yeah, I think this isn't a good show to binge, which is funny because
Yeah.
we all binged it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, seriously, imagine watching this weekly.
Oh wow,
I'd say
yeah.
It was originally advertised as a regular Magical Girl anime, so just imagine like episode 3 and episode 4, just like, holy crap.
I mean,
Yeah.
hell, episode again, as I said, episode 1. It starts with, "Hey, here's the end of the world."
Okay, but you also have to consider if you've seen anything Magical Girl, even be
Yeah.
it flipping Panty and Stocking, which is a Magical Girl
I
show.
guess you're right.
It is.
No, yeah,
it
they
is.
have the whole transformation sequences. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
But it hits all the notes. It's like, okay, you have Homura, you have the rival, you have like this evil villain that you have to fight at the end, you know? That
Yeah.
you see, but you don't know the threat yet. And you have like
What
all of
is
the
that
girls
noise?
getting together and being pals. You have the cute pet.
Oh, was that an airplane?
Yes.
All right, sorry. Yeah, you got the tropes of
Yeah, it's all there,
magical
and then it
girls.
all gets turned on its head, which is the point.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that was the whole
it's-
point. But I felt
it's,
like there was more to it than that. Like, more than just the idea of flipping a magical girl on the head, like, magical girl
I mean,
show on their head.
It's also just a really, really, really well written story.
It's a really well written story, and I felt like it had some commentary in there. I don't know what on, but I felt like there's something that it is saying. If
I
you
think
know what I mean.
a lot of the Magical Girl part of it is questioning the logic of that kind of world.
Yeah.
Because you look at something like Sailor Moon and you're like, oh, she gets the powers, she fights off the evil. But you have to think like, why would someone why would like an alien give you magical powers? Why? What's
Yeah.
the reasoning? You know? And then you realize it's at the cost of your soul,
Yeah.
which
It's
is
like
pretty
kind
reasonable, I
of
think.
the kind of story where it's like wishes just don't magically happen. You have to have something that makes them happen, or else there's probably going to be some unforeseen consequences of them.
You have to lose something to gain something.
Not even just like on that merit alone, like just the idea of like things just don't happen for free in the physics of the universe, like entropy and stuff like that. You gotta think of logistics of what you're doing, or else you could actually screw other things up because of it.
I think you just hit a lot of the major points of the show because
Yeah.
a lot of it is everyone, like specifically Homura, trying to convince Madoka that she's actually living a good life, even though she doesn't think she is. Like everyone else, like Mommy is like, oh, I'm so happy because I survived and I'm doing good things, but she's also kind of a jerk. And
Yeah.
like, who was it? This Sayaka. She's fine with her life, but she really likes this dude, but she literally can't admit it to him. So she literally,
I have feelings about that.
Sayaka literally throws away
She
her
does
life
nothing.
to do
She's like-
something for this guy.
Like she has
And
a
then
chance to.
doesn't-
It's like, hey, in tomorrow I'm the other girl, whatever.
Yeah, the
The one
girl's
who-
like, I'm gonna
Hey,
ask him
you have
out.
a day to admit your feelings to him, or else I'm gonna go for him. And
she
Sayaka
doesn't.
just does nothing. She just whines about how she's basically just dead
Yeah,
and
I
does
mean-
nothing. She doesn't even try.
It's true though.
it happens to
But
a lot of
still-
people. Yeah.
You didn't even try. You should have at least tried.
Oh,
Okay, but if
I
you
saw
know
that
you're
as,
going
like,
to
a
die in
tragedy.
the next year, would you really want to get into a committed relationship with someone?
Eh,
we'll take
probably.
anything at this
I
point.
don't think they would be willing to.
Still, I was just like, eh.
I think Sayaka is the weakest character in the story, but I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I'd say that's the worst of the best is still better than the average
Yeah.
in that kind of
Definitely.
sense.
Yeah.
Also, something I found really interesting Okay, first of all, her family is really well characterized for how little it's in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I
Madoka's
love her
family, you
mom.
mean?
Were they?
Her mom's
They all.
a great character.
Oh, you're talking about Madoka's family?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other Sayaka's.
No, she
I don't know
has
why.
no family.
Well, no, they
the only
mentioned
person who has family up here is Madoka.
Oh wait, shit, that wasn't her family. You're right. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought the guy with the broken hands was her brother at first. That's why I think some of the plot was lost on me on that part. But
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's still get the gist.
I like the whole part where when he does get out of the hospital, his whole family's there. He's like, "Yeah, we kept your violin, dude, or viol or
Yeah, that
fiddle,
was-
whatever it was."
That was neat.
That was a good scene.
Yeah, but yeah, the family, Madoka's family. I like the mom. I don't remember the
Mom's
dad
great.
too well.
The dad is a house husband. He's
Yeah.
great.
He's just a swell guy. But yeah, no, Madoka's family is good, and I like
Number
that
one
because I
anime
imagine
dad.
in a lot of other magical girl shows, probably you don't have a lot of like, where's the family?
I mean, in a lot of anime, they ignore
True,
the
and just
family.
in general, and so it's refreshing to see
I was born
know,
an orphan.
It's like-
Madoka's family be pretty integral, or at least sort of integral.
I
to
mean,
It's
like,
like Disney.
events.
Literally,
Disney,
Naruto
right.
doesn't have parents that are alive.
Well, yeah, it's the Disney formula. They're either
Yeah.
dead or somewhere else.
Yeah, this one's just like, no, you have parents. And they're also
fine.
not constantly putting the parents in peril because of the character's actions.
They never really are, except for like the
There's, like,
end,
one
and even then
point
it's just because
where-
it's basically a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have so easily had them been affected by the witches, but they don't.
I'm
I
really
was
glad they
expecting that to
didn't because
happen,
I
where
hate
it's
that.
like, oh, the mom is gonna be suicidal or something.
I'm
And
glad
that
they
never
didn't.
happened, and that's a pleasant
Yeah.
surprise for me because I was expecting that to happen.
I mean, they did it with Hitomi, but who really cared about her, to be honest?
Yeah, Hitomi was lame. She's
Yeah.
just she's third wheel, other
But
friend,
she's fourth wheel.
fourth wheel.
I
She's not even
mean,
in the magical girl club. She's
Exactly.
just a loser who's outside of it.
oh yeah, I need to say this. I usually try not to bring up shipping because I know you guys don't really
Oh,
care
no.
about it. Homura and Madoka it's just canon.
Well, that's
Yeah,
not
pretty
really
much.
shipping
It's-
at that point.
No, it's not actually canon. It's just
But
Come on.
But did
come
you
on. Did you
see?
even watch episode 10?
I can
Did
see
you
it working.
see that episode that is entirely about Homura going through who knows how many time loops
To save,
to
yeah.
save Madoka?
I see it. It could work out.
But also, I need to. I could talk for hours about Homura. She's honestly just such a good
I
character.
really like her.
She's very good.
I kind of
Let me just
suspected
say-
that she was good all along because of how much they were like making her look like a villain at first.
Let me just say, time powers. These are the most well-used time powers I've
Yes.
ever seen. Flipping cooking a grenade while time is stopped.
That's a
Oh
great
no,
idea.
no, like I literally just thought watching it of like, what if Dio had a gun?
If you shot a
You
gun
just
and
shoot
stopped
Jotaro in the
time.
head in the frozen time, and he
Yeah.
wins.
Now here's
Nothing
my
was
question with shooting a gun in frozen time. Would the bullet come out, or would you just kind of have to like would it just trigger the bullet, or would it?
Yeah, the bullet would come out and it would be well. Okay, the way it works.
You know how the knives
wait,
work?
wait.
Well, like,
let me
so-
explain it. Let me explain it.
Okay.
The way it works in this canon is that if she is touching it, it is not move. It will move with her in stop time. So she shoots the bullet, and the trajectory comes out of the barrel, and then it stops.
Okay. See, my thing is, if you are holding a gun, you press the button, right? That releases the hammer. So in stopped time, the hammer wouldn't move unless, I guess, you're talking about the whole thing that you're holding moves.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Like if you held like I don't know, like a laptop, you could still use it, I guess, and stop time.
Yes.
Okay, I guess that would work. But
It-
yes. Sorry, go ahead.
if you pay attention to the logic of it, like she'll cook a grenade and then throw it, and like she'll hold it for a little bit and then throw it, and then it'll stop.
Yeah.
And it'll like be just about to explode.
My favorite
And then
sequence.
when time resumes, it immediately explodes.
My favorite sequence is just how she's amassed all these weapons.
She steals
got-
it from flipping cops.
She's got like AT-4s, RPGs, and frickin' mortar launchers all lined up in a
Oh,
row.
it's so good when she tries to like go at the super witch on her own, and she just weaponizes like the whole area.
I fucking love that whole sequence.
Like, that's part of like the reason why I loved like the ending of Shin Godzilla so much is because it's just weaponize the whole city around you, use all of your surroundings.
I'd like to think that she also had like time to like actually research how to like actually use all these correctly, because frickin' mortar launcher, you have to do frickin' trigonometry to use.
Make bombs.
Oh yeah,
And
she
that's how
was.
she makes the grenades.
Yeah.
She just learns how to use straight up military grade weaponry, and that's her Garrick.
I mean that's
Mommy
that's.
just
I
has
mean,
like summons infinite goofy like muskets, and then
who would
like
win? The
whatever
magical
else, and
girl
then
with
you
the
just
baseball
have
bat.
Homura, who has just military weapons.
Who would win? Magical girl with baseball bat or magical girl with desert eagle?
Desert Eagle.
But seriously though, if Dio had a Desert Eagle, he would win. the next big like who would win in the fight, Jotaro or Dio with a gun?
I
If
think it would just
Jotaro
be
could have a
Jotaro.
gun also, I think the odds would be even.
That's the secret to being the best stand user in the world, is just also have a gun in the frozen time.
I mean, part 4.
Yeah, part 4.
Enigma.
Rats.
Whole horse, but he can stop time. Unbeatable.
Oh no.
Okay, more Madoka stuff.
More Madoku.
So one thing I noticed, I tried to pay really close attention to like little tiny details, because obviously I've watched this before. I know it's been a while. I kind of counted this as a new watch, but I remembered the basic plot. All of the witches are actually based in like medieval things. All of the witch designs are, most of them are medieval drawings, like based on this general style.
Like tapestry drawings, stuff like that. And
Yeah, and paintings and stuff.
all right. I can't think
and
of any
obviously
specific
the-
examples.
Obviously, the last one is named Walpurgis, which is, I believe, just German for witch.
Oh my
Yeah.
And Walpurgis Night, or Walpurgis Nacht, is a witch's night. I believe it's some type of pagan event focused around witches.
Alright.
Other something that really startled me is that this is hard sci-fi.
It is. That's why I
They're
was
straight
really
up
into
just
it at
like-
the end.
50 plus years in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have like comments very early on, like with episode 1 of just, wow, Madoka's house is fancy as hell. What is this? What is this school? The classrooms are glass boxes. What kind of world is this where this like schools look like this?
Yeah, and it's implied that Madoka's middle class.
Yeah. They mentioned something. I think it was Hitomi
He told me
thinks
it's the
that
rich girl.
Hitomi thinks that Sayaka and Madoka are like dating each other or something because they can read each other's minds.
Yeah.
And she's
they
like,
do that joke
"That's
a
not
few times.
right."
They do.
Like,
They do a fair
do
amount
that,
of
but
Yuri
that's forbidden
jokes.
love.
Yeah.
They do a lot of Yuri jokes.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, they drop it by the
Early on,
yeah.
And I was kind of like,
When the
"Ugh."
show decides to like that it's like lost all the people that actually thought this was an anime a magical girl show.
Well, no, that's a trope of magical girl shows too.
Is it?
I believe in the original Sailor Moon.
I mean, that's
one of
what
the
I meant.
sailors, I believe in the original Sailor Moon, 2 of the sailors are in a lesbian relationship.
I meant like
Yeah.
as soon as the show realized that it lost all the people that were expecting magical girl from the show, it stopped doing the jokes. And it just
I
started getting more
disagree.
serious with
I
it.
think
I don't
it's the
know.
Oh
opposite.
no! Wait, no. I have a thing. This
have
is
a
a
thing?
Shaft show, so you already
It's Shaft.
fucking know they have that goddamn head tilt.
There were so many head tilts.
So many, and it's mostly Homura. She's like
And
constantly
Kyubey.
doing head tilts and flipping her hair, and it was annoying me by the end because she kept.
And Cube. Cube
Oh,
tilts
yep,
his head
yep.
a lot.
Oh my god. Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm on the character page for it, and QB's like mid head tilt.
That's great.
But
This
no,
was
it just
earlier
happened.
Shaft,
It's like
too.
this is even more than like Kubikiri. It's
This
just
is early
constant,
Shaft.
Yeah.
So this is the start of it, pretty
The
much.
beginning.
just so much head tilts and hair flips, and I'm just like, oh my god, stop. And it also does the thing that Kubikiri does, where it's like quick zoom in on characters' faces while they're talking.
Oh yeah, QB's whole face covers the screen multiple times.
And it's menacing as hell.
It's great.
So, let's talk about the war economy. You don't...
What do you...
I saw, I don't know, it's probably because I got Metal Gear on the brain in general, but, it was totally just like, they were talking about this whole universe where they were like, we let the people die so the enemy becomes stronger so that we have a reason to fight them, and I'm like, that is very much, like, just war economy in general.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
already making comparisons to the, like, in my brain, I was just like, with the whole granting a wish and becoming a magical girl thing, I'm like, that sounds exactly like an army recruiter just lying to me, telling me to join the Marines so that I could pay for college. It's like, that doesn't... I don't know.
In this anime, I felt like it was more of an allegory for becoming an adult.
Allegory?
Yes, allegory.
Allegory.
Allegory?
Allegory.
Allegory.
Dude,
It's
what
not-
the fuck?
It's an allegory for becoming an adult.
This isn't even like the usual, I'm gonna give you shit for like saying the full
Allegory.
Japanese title of an anime. This is just you mispronouncing words now.
Allegory. You did that on purpose, you sick bastard.
I didn't, and now I'm sad.
Oh.
You just said that?
Have you
Did
never,
you
like,
just
heard
say
the
that
word
in your normal
spoken?
life?
I do a lot more reading than I do talking.
That means you learned the word by reading.
Okay, shut up.
Just never
I
said
feel
it.
like
believe
it was
that's a
lot
quote
more
from
of
something.
a metaphor for becoming an adult, because
No, the
all of
word,
the-
you used the word correctly.
I know.
You just said it, you just mispronounced.
Shut up. Let me talk.
I'm sorry. I just didn't expect to hear the word allegory today. Or any day, for that matter, because it
I've
doesn't
lost it.
exist.
I've lost
I'm sorry.
it.
It's an allegory for becoming an adult.
I felt like it was more that because all of the characters were like, you could replace I want to become a magical girl with I want to become an adult, because like Madoka is like, I don't have any special talents, so what should I do? And,
Yeah,
like,
That's
I
Cube
complained
is
about
like
that.
Cube is like a pimp.
You see, that's what I thought it.
Because he takes their souls in exchange for his own gain.
You see, I thought the same reason for it being a allegory for just war, it kind of very loosely, is Cube would be like an army recruiter, and them like not knowing their purpose and like basically being advertised to that, like, hey, war gives you a purpose, kid.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's literally like how all of the U.S. Army advertisements work, and I hate all of them.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah, I think both of your ideas can be applied.
I've heard a lot of really depressing stories about people who join the military, like in recent years. It's never what it's cracked up
Yeah,
to be.
also, like, another thing that I think I had for going for this idea was, they were, like, talking with the magical girls, and they were like, you don't join this if you want to be a good person, you gotta do this for yourself.
Right.
And it's like, that is
Yeah.
very much somebody
Yeah.
that has seen some shit in war talking, I don't know.
We haven't
Also-
even talked about Kyoko yet.
I was just gonna say, you
Yeah.
guys have been quoting Kyoko and you haven't even said her
Yeah.
name.
Don't waste food. So, what about her?
Okay, initially with Kyoko, I was annoyed with her, and I had a moment where I was like, is the moral of this show gonna be never help anyone ever? And then this is like minutes before her backstory, and then I'm like, okay, never mind. Kyoko has a good reason to never help anyone ever.
Yeah.
I love Kyoko.
I'm
She
like,
has a
okay,
great
yeah, no, I
backstory, a
respect
great
that.
personality, and she's really cute, so, you know.
Fucking lolly fuck.
I liked her, and I knew they were making her, like, look like a bad guy at first. I'm like, that means she's the best character in this,
There
probably.
is so much misdirection in this that
Yeah.
anything could be anything.
I really felt like this whole show, every single time, except for Madoka herself, every time the show was like, you should feel this way about this character, I'm like, alright, I should feel the opposite. Immediately.
So when you go into the arcade and you see a girl playing Dog Drug Reinforcement,
I
you're supposed
noticed
to
that
like
they
her.
had a
With
weird.
the OP as the song.
I noticed they had a weird DDR, and I didn't stop to pause to see what it was. But could you
there was
repeat
the
that?
Pocky
Because that
Sticks
sounded
were
amazing.
Rocky.
It was Dog Drug Reinforcement.
Holy shit.
I really
And
wish I
then
stopped to see
the
that. That
Pocky
sounds
is Rocky.
amazing.
And as you did
Oh, yeah,
better
just-
combos, the dogs in the background would just die.
I didn't notice this.
Oh my god!
Oh, I need to go back and look at this because that sounds
I need
amazing.
to watch that again then.
I wish I was joking.
Holy shit.
One of the most memorable scenes of the show for a lot of people is when QB dies and then he pops up as a spare QB and then eats his own corpse.
Yes, he does do that.
That's
You know,
such
normal
a good
shit that
scene.
happens every day.
What, you don't wake up and
This is
eat
a horse
your
eat
pet's
horse
life's
world.
corpse? What, he's some kind of fucking normie? You don't respawn in a new body every single day and eat the previous one?
This is getting some Matrix shit.
Basically.
Oh wait, do you want a whole antecedent where I just compare Madoka to Simone from Gurren Lagann for a bit?
Go for it.
Okay.
Alright, this basically spawned from in episode 4 when you have the whole, oh well, I guess I'm not gonna become a magical
At the end of
girl.
the episode, Sayaka's magical girl.
And it is episode 4, and this show has 12 episodes, and you know that it's like no one's gonna fall for this shit. And we see them as magical girls in the opening, and I just hate, refusing the call to action is probably one of my least favorite things. in
Shinji.
just anything. And it's like, I get it when it's a longer show like Gurren Lagann, where that's 27 episodes. You have Simone to, have to take the time where he has to learn how to man up and become a leader and stuff. This has 12 episodes. You don't have the time to mess around and just be like, oh, refuse the call to action.
Okay, but it's
Womp womp.
moral. It's the moral dilemma of
No, but then now later on I realize Madoka does have good reasoning for it, because the one time she does try to do something, she ends up killing Sayaka.
Yeah.
yes.
And so thus I'm like, okay, I understand why she would continue to not do anything until the very final episode, and then when she does something, she straight up Deus Ex Machina everything.
I mean, it's basically the gimmick of Madoka is that you're led to believe that Madoka's kind of useless, and in a different anime she would be. But normally with that kind of plot, you have a last moment, like not last moment meaning last episode, last moment being like at
Right
the end of
before
a-
something bad's about to happen.
Like yeah, if you're looking at the mommy fight, right before she dies, normally the clumsy, useless protagonist will accidentally do something really good.
Yeah.
But the twist with Madoka is that the whole time she is actually thinking of a wish. She
Mhm.
is actively thinking of like the most effective wish that lets her help the most people, because that's all she wants is just to help people.
Well, I actually had guesses early on of like, the wish is either going to be like, get rid of all the witches or stop magical girls from ever existing.
Well, then you're better than me, because I didn't even
thought that was
remember
the
and I
route
watched
going
it
to go.
before.
Was the route was going to be just stop magical girls from existing, just make it so they never happened. I thought that was the way they were going to go for like the big final.
I don't know why. I thought she was going to use her
Construction.
wish to like revive Mani or something. Or Mommy. I don't know why I thought that.
Also, this is irrelevant, but now we have anime characters known as Mommy and Poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I don't know what to do with this information though.
Nothing.
But we have it.
I
We
can
have
do
this
absolutely
information.
nothing with this information. Great.
But yeah, that was just, I was thinking of like, oh, that was going to be the ultimate ending to this like whole deconstructionist thing, is just magical girls never happen. And that was going to be the end. But I'm happy that I was wrong.
For reference, there is actually a sequel to this
Oh,
in the form of when they did a recap movies like they did with Gurren, and they
Uh-huh.
did movie 1 is the first 8 episodes of the anime. Movie 2 is the last 4 episodes of the anime. Movie 3, which was a surprise to everyone, was a canon sequel. It's called Rebellion. I really want to watch it. I haven't.
Okay.
So
Rebuild of
I would ask
Madoka.
you what it's about, but at the same time, I feel like knowing anything about it going in would be a spoiler.
yeah, you gotta go in
Exactly.
blind with all things Madoka.
Yeah.
End of Madoka Gellion.
End of yeah. I mean, they're still doing more of Madoka, but it's all like side stuff. There isn't really any more canon material beyond that movie.
Yeah, I don't know what else you could possibly do with it. I mean, I could see like maybe like one more twist, probably in the form of the movie, but
Yeah, the movie's probably the end of the franchise as we know it.
I'm fine with that. That's like just enough content, you know.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think this ending is
It's
a
like
little
saying
bit weaker than it could be.
I'd say like this in a movie would be perfect. Any more than that would be like saying we need Gurren Lagann 2.
Which
We need
don't.
Gurren Lagann 2
don't.
though. Give me Gurren Lagann 2.
You're getting Tribuster. Don't worry about it.
I'm getting Tribuster, yes.
Wait, no, damn it! I was about to say something. I forgot.
I
Oh yeah,
have,
one season in a movie. What else?
I was gonna mention when you guys were talking about how Madoka doesn't do anything until like the very end with her wish. I felt like I realized somewhere early on where I was just like, yeah, she probably can't make a wish. Like she probably shouldn't. And I don't know why I thought this. Like this was like I think episode 5 or something by this point, where it's like
You were more right than you knew.
I know. I had this gut feeling. It was my stand, my double vision. It was my
Right.
Yes.
stand where I can
Your
predict
stand.
things in anime. But this time I didn't like know exactly what. Usually when I predict random shit, it's like I predict it verbatim. This one is just like something's just off. She shouldn't join this.
It was less of your like dead-on prediction and more of just a vague feeling of like,
Yeah.
Huh.
Thinking emoji
Really makes you think.
about our society.
No.
Okay, this
about,
is.
about magical girl anime.
I wrote down this note because I had this thought while watching it, and other people might not get this, but it's fine. You guys will love it. According to Max's mech classifications, magical girls are drones. Can you
I think I'm
dispute it?
wrong. I think they would be robots because I had the definition of drone and robot confused, but you'd be right.
Yeah, but it's remote. It's remote control.
Yes.
'cause it's souls.
Yeah, but my problem is I got robots and drones wrong. What we call drones with like like the quadcopters, those are technically just like RC robots, and they shouldn't be called drones. But that is my mistake.
Well, no, isn't the
Do I
your
need to go
definition of
over
robot
the
is
drone
program?
classification or the robot classification list that I've made?
I think we were talking about how like what Mitch said. Robots are controlled by a program, and drones are controlled by a person.
Yes.
Remotely.
Yes. That's how it is supposed to be.
So
I think that's
effectively,
I would agree with that.
Madoka Magica's version of magical girls are drones.
Technically speaking, yes, I guess.
Well, no, wait, no. It said out. No, the difference is drones are like engineered things.
I
and
didn't
all that.
have a non-engineered equivalent of it.
So
I
no,
guess
they're
it
not
would be
drones.
like tamed animal. I guess.
The qualifications. There's the is it engineered or not?
Okay,
and
so-
the only
It's
thing
not-
that fits into not is.
Do I need to go
steam.
over the whole list so that so we had this started weirdly enough bringing back BioShock into this conversation. I asked them if a Big Daddy classifies as a mech, and after much debate I landed on the definition of a mech. That is an engineered thing with limbs. I don't want people calling tanks mechs and stuff like that. That is ridden on or inside and does not have free will of its own. Robots are engineered things that are controlled. Drones are like autonomous, but I think I had those backwards. And mounts or steeds are like horses, stuff like that has its own free will when you're not in it, but isn't controlled by an AI, in which that's its own thing. And there's also exosuit and cyborg augmentation is a engineered thing built specifically around a person. I don't know where I'm
So
going
magical
with this,
girl
but
doesn't fit any of that in this
but
case.
I would say if we created a new thing that was like the equivalent of a robot or a drone in the form of something that does have its own free will, like a steed, then it would be in that classification. It
Cool.
was very
We
long-winded.
did it.
Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Your TED
No, that would actually be a good TED Talk, though, of just, like, what is a mech?
It would be an
It's
awful
TEDx
TED Talk.
It's TEDx, not TED.
Yeah, sure. I mean, everybody shortens it to TED, though.
No, TEDx are the unofficial ones. TED are the real ones.
Oh, okay. No, this would be an official TED Talk.
Okay, sure.
I would present this in front of scholars.
So are you a mech scholar?
I am the #1 anime resource man, and it's really my
Number
credibility is that I watch the
Excuse me?
dubs. My credibility is I watch the dubs.
Oh no. That's negative credibility.
Max is removed from academia as a whole.
So what I'm saying is, if Madoka used her wish truly effectively, she would have wished me out of existence because I'm an idiot.
Me IRL.
I'm a
I have
witch.
another note of like from when Sayaka was just like when she first started like losing it, and it is verbatim. You know Sayaka's lost it because she's doing the head tilt now.
Oh no. That's how you know.
She starts doing it, and I'm like, that's how you know she's going crazy. She's doing it.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, and once Cube reveals the entropy thing, I've got a couple things here.
The what? Oh, the entropy?
First note, the plot is literally magical girls make the world go round, and a good direct quote from Cube.
Bad.
If you ever feel like dying
hold on.
for the
No,
sake
no,
of
no,
the
no.
universe, give me a call.
Hold on. That
no,
previous
he knows.
statement you just
Max,
said.
He knows. He knows.
I'm sorry. It took me a second to process it. It was
What?
bad. Bad
Wait,
statement.
were you
Bad
talking over me
pun.
that whole time?
You made a bad pun.
You lost me at magical girls make the world go round.
That's the plot, though.
One more thing, and I've pretty much exhausted all I want to say. One thing I really liked about episode 10, which is the Homura background episode.
That's
which
my
I
favorite
love.
episode.
It's the best episode.
Yes.
Is in one of the other timelines, Mommy goes rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mommy tries to murder Homura, and then
Madoka kills her.
Madoka kills her,
Oh yeah.
which really cements the whole Madoka Homura pairing.
This show
But
is
still,
insane.
like that's like definitely the darkest of the timelines for sure. Is Mommy's like, no, I can't take this. If we're all gonna become witches,
Then die.
we all have
Then
to kill each
perish.
other.
Then perish.
You are already a witch.
Nani.
Wow, nice.
More like
Oh, and
mommy.
also, I noticed when Sayaka became a witch, and you have the orchestral nightmare realm. At one point near the end, like I think after she's defeated or something, you can see like the silhouette of Kamijo
Yeah, that was
in the
weird.
background, and I was like, that's just not going to be mentioned. But I saw it, and I was like, ooh, there he is.
I don't think I saw that.
But yeah, no, some point around there, like towards the end, you can see like right behind Madoka and the rest or something. There's like the silhouette of Kamijo.
Also, one more thing that really weirded me out. In two places, there are a bunch of empty random chairs, all of different designs. I don't know what to make of it, but it's in Kamijo's hospital room and Madoka's bedroom.
I don't think I noticed what you're talking about directly, but now that you mention it, that sounds like something that happened.
I don't get it.
I mean, you did say this is your second watch through, and you were paying a lot more attention to things.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what did you say? I was.
He noticed there was something about chairs.
What about chairs?
Oh, were you not paying attention?
When they were like in school and they were absent and the chairs aren't there.
No, that was awesome. But no, I was talking about how in Kamijo's hospital room and Madoka's bedroom, there are a bunch of random chairs, all of different designs, just sitting there. I think it's more facing the beds. It's really eerie, and I don't know what to make of it.
Maybe that's just to like just aid the atmosphere, make things seem more I don't know, creepier
I
sense.
Something to do with the time travel?
Knowing Gen Urobuchi, there's probably a point to it.
Maybe we'll have to watch the movie.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't
It
know.
was the chair so
Oh wait,
long!
actually, that's right. I forgot. I have further Diebuster comparison.
Oh no.
Okay. With Nono doing godlike stuff at the end with the singularity, I'm cool
Also,
with that
Diebuster
because...
spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck you. But when Nono's doing godlike stuff with the singularity at the end of Diebuster, I'm cool with it because from episode 1, it's shown she's like powerful enough to take out a space monster on her own, and then she's only getting stronger from then on. Whereas when you have Madoka at the end doing godlike stuff, but she's really never shown to have any of this power aside from Hubie not shutting up about the potential until he finally explains all the timeline and destiny stuff. And so just the end point I have about that is show, don't tell. Just like, hey, show me that this character is powerful enough to do this stuff, and instead of waiting till like the very last moment to explain it.
I agree. I think this show, for a lot of scenes, I don't know why you had to bring in Diebuster to say that.
I don't know. That's the connection I made.
A lot of times the show does seem to tell more than showing, but they do address that by like the last few episodes, and they are doing a lot of showing. So I think they made up for it.
Partially because Gen Urobuchi maintains that this anime can be watched by someone of any age group because there's nothing explicit. There's no gore. There's no like horror. There's no actual horror. I think the
There's
witches
like a little
are
bit
kind
of blood.
but there's like some blood, but not
There's
much.
some death
Mommy
and
gets her
some
head
blood.
bitten off, but it's off screen enough where you can kind of get away with it.
Yeah, for some reason I remembered it being a lot more gory than it is, and it's not very gory. They pretty much cut away from it.
It's cut off like right beneath where her head would be getting.
There's no blood in that scene either.
And like you don't even see her body like it drop down without the head. It's heard off screen.
But
now that I think about it, yeah, you're right.
I think some of that dialogue explanation comes from that Gen Urobuchi wanted to like have like maybe a 13-year-old is watching it and they might not get it that much.
Yeah. I appreciate that now that I've heard that explanation.
Oh yeah, no, at the end of it I say like I'm okay with it once it's finally explained in full, but it's just I'd rather like, hey, show me a little of what this power is that Madoka supposedly has, and we don't see it until the very last moment.
Yeah,
I think that's where I have at that, but like, I agree. I don't know why I said it like that, but at the same time, I feel like it's earned the ability to do that with everything else it does. I guess we could move on to ratings now while we're on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless anybody has any pressing last thoughts.
No, I've made my points.
All right.
If you're a magical girl, try not to lose your head.
I'd say try not to lose your head ever.
It's just
yeah.
Okay, my rating's 8.5, maybe higher. I don't know.
I give it a solid 8.
8.
Nice.
Wow,
Yeah,
I
thought it was overall good. A little slow at the beginning, but it's one of those things where you have to sit through the slow part to really like appreciate the parts later on.
Yeah, it's got its weak points early on.
I'm not saying that the slow parts are the weak points. I'm saying that it has to do those slow parts in order for it to get to the parts later. Like I can't think of a better way of doing some of those
episodes
parts
to get to the good shit later.
Yeah, but those episodes just suck.
Yeah,
but you gotta do it to get to the good stuff. You gotta have Kamina die so that Simone can eventually realize that he has to become a man.
Don't spoil it to people.
I
mean, it's very obvious early on that he's gonna die, but
10 years.
It's been 10 years,
To sum up my feelings of Madoka, I think in terms of art, visuals, narrative, writing, everything, it is one of the greatest anime ever made, but it is not one of my favorite. It's very good. I recommend it to everyone, but I don't love it. Maybe the movie will change my feelings.
Like the scenarios that it sets up, and that's all I can ask for in a show a lot of the time.
Like it starts slow and there's some weak points, but once it picks it up, it really fucking picks it up. and it's really great stuff by the end.
All right. Time
So,
for the showdown.
Showdown,
Showdown, baby.
I am already dead. You guys go ahead.
You're dead. Should I go first?
Yeah. So you got movie this week, right?
This movie is one of the strangest things that exists. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I'm going to name the entire title. It's ridiculous. Interstellar 5555. The 5 story of the 5 secret 5-star 5 system.
This is
That
the
reminds
Daft
me
Punk
of
thing.
have you heard of this internet thing? 9 Mother Horse Eyes 9 Eyes 9 or something like that?
No.
It's a similar thing where they just shove a bunch of the same number in it. That's
Anyway,
its own
this
thing.
is-
Look it up.
This is a Japanese-French anime. It is the visual version of a Daft Punk album. So there you go. I love
Okay,
Daft Punk.
that
so
sounds good. Can I get
It
the
is-
title but without all the unnecessary 5s?
It's Interstellar 5555. That's all you need.
Okay.
It's not Interstellar. There's no R at the end.
Okay. That's weird.
It's great.
All right.
Okay.
What you
Oh,
got?
it's from the. This is like actually in the. No, I've googled this. This is like literally Daft Punk.
Yeah, no. It's,
Yeah.
I thought you were making a
It's
comparison.
just
No,
the
this is the.
animated, like,
Yeah.
music
It's not a
videos.
comparison.
Okay.
It's literally a Daft Punk album.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna like this then.
It's about an hour long, so it's actually pretty short.
All right.
All right.
And then for the show, this one is based on a recommendation from a friend. It's Grenadier. Do you guys know of that?
No.
All right, I will just read the description that he gave for me. Let's see. It is a main girl, or a main character who's a girl named Rashuna. I don't know how to pronounce that. She's a gunfighter who always goes about battling people non-lethally. So,
You cut out of it there for me.
great.
Yeah, same.
It's a gunfighter named Rashuna who tries to battle people non-lethally, and you know, shenanigans happens along the way. So
Is
it
that all the
sounds
info?
interesting.
Do we not have like setting?
I don't know. I don't know much about it. I'm going in blind.
Okay. Okay. I'm fine with that.
So yeah, it's a Grenadier.
Okie dokie. Oakley dokley.
So that has been the podcast this week, everybody.
Yay.
Does anybody have anything they'd like to say?
No,
Here's to
don't.
10 episodes, and here's to maybe 10 more.
Probably
Here's to
10 more.
200 more.
200?
200 more.
Oh man, it's gonna take a while. Let's
Yep.
do it.
Good. Good.
See, if we do one every week, that would be 4 years.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We got this.
Sure.
We have so many fans that support us.
Totally.
We'll get there. If not,
You'll
we'll
be-
just continue watching shows for fun because
You'll
it's
be
fun.
on our Patreon eventually.
Patreon. It still exists. The
The
YouTube
future.
society hasn't completely collapsed.
In 4 years.
4 years?
You know what? Judging by how it's going, I'm surprised if the
Never
world's
mind.
still around
No.
in 4 years.
4
Yeah,
years.
I'm surprised we're still here.
Yeah.
2012 should have taken us out.
I mean, 2016 is pretty bad.
Yeah.
We made it.
I can't believe we survived Y2K, honestly.
Yeah, seriously. Wait, no.
I was
I
just a
actually.
little child
There's a
then.
reason for that.
It's because, like, it wasn't actually a problem.
No, watch Steins Gate. You'll know why.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Y2K
never
is a
mind.
plot point in Steins Gate?
Really?
Yes, of course it is.
Actually, now that you say it, of course it is.
Anyways, goodbye, everybody. This has been a
Goodbye.
hell of an episode.
Bye.